Are you thinking about raising a foal, or are you just curious what it takes? Well, we're going to show you our baby horse in this video and try to answer some of the questions that you should be asking if you're wanting to raise a foal, or maybe if you're just curious about what it takes to raise a foal. You know, should I raise a foal? This is my first time getting a horse, or should I buy a trained horse? We're going to answer some of those questions, or possibly you even saw our older video that we put up when she was a younger baby, and you just want to see what she looks like now and how she's acting now. So come along with us and you can see what that looks like, and we'll answer your questions. Video, she's 3.5 months old. The previous video, you know, she was probably just about a month old, and you can go check that out. It's on our YouTube channel. So is this a colt or filly? It's a filly. Breed, she's an American quarter horse. So you might be looking at her back leg and see that her leg is kind of darker right under her tail there than the rest of hers, kind of light colored. And you're going, well, why is that? That looks kind of weird. Well, her baby fuzz is kind of starting to shed off here. And you can see kind of her face, and then under her tail there is really the color she's going to shed out to for the summer. And you can see she's full of energy there. Mama's going to take a roll. She's just running and bucking and kicking, have a great time. Now, about every 30 to 45 seconds when she's running around like this, she whinnies, a cute little baby whinny, which unfortunately I don't have in this because, as you can tell, it's really windy that day and the audio sounded like a hurricane was happening. So anyway, you can just watch her and enjoy her antics. So a few more questions. So what's her name? Her registered name is West Slope Big Hope, and she's registered with the American Quarter Horse Association, and we call her Hope. That's her kind of her nickname. And so question maybe you're wondering about is, well, I'm thinking maybe I want to raise a foal, or maybe I want to get into horses. Is getting a baby a good way to go? Well, if you haven't had horses quite a bit and pretty used to horses, I would say no, you're a lot better off buying a trained horse. There's just a whole lot more that can go wrong with a young horse than one that's already well trained. And, you know, having the experience of already being used to horses will be really helpful when it comes to raising a young horse. We never had raised a horse before, but we've had horses for dozens and dozens of years here and are used to them and training them. We've also raised hundreds of cow babies and a bunch of dog babies and some goat babies and a whole bunch of other babies. So we're pretty used to dealing with young animals. But so what other things should you maybe be working on at this age? She's running around there. You see my wife Sarah kind of keeping her eye on her and, you know, flinging her hands up at the foal a few different times when the foal kind of comes near. Weighs probably, I don't know, 250 pounds here, going 20 miles an hour. That's pretty much a guided missile. You really don't want to be run into by that. And so, you know, she just has to learn to respect our space at this point in life. So she's going to spend quite a bit of time in the halter, learning to give to the pressure of the halter, learning when she has the halter on, when she doesn't, and all those sorts of things. We spend a lot of time rubbing her and brushing her, all kinds of different things just to get her used to normal life stuff that you'll do with a horse, picking up her feet so that they could be trimmed, just all kinds of stuff like that to prepare her for life. Those are the main training things that you're going to be working on at this age. And so how do you improve the trust and the bond of the baby horse with you? Well, basically, kind of like we just said, you spend time with them, but, you know, it needs to be quality time to where, you know, you're not just letting the baby horse do whatever they feel like. You know, they need to be respectful. You know, I guess the way to think about it is they should be treating you the way a stranger at the grocery store would be treating you. You know, they shouldn't be slamming into you, getting right in your face and, you know, just being rude. So those are pretty good guidelines there. So is it okay to let her run around like this? Well, yes, it is. It's good for her because she gets to stretch out and move her muscles in a bigger pen. Her pen she's in, you know, normally that she lives in is about 50 foot by 100 foot. So she has pretty good room to run around there. But here we're putting the halter back on and going to take her for a walk back to her home pen. The other thing you'll notice looking around at this fence is it's tall, it's thick, it's sturdy. The horses can see it well. She's not going to run into it or fall through it or get hurt on it. There's not really hardly any obstacles or anything for her to get tangled up on out here besides barrels in the arena when she's loose. Now here we're leading her across a bridge, just getting her used to new experiences. It sounds weird to them. It feels weird to them. Here in a minute you'll see her I say she gets stuck on a bush up here just a little bit. She basically like walks herself right into a bush here. And she's sitting there looking at it going, well, how do I get around this? What do I do? And, it's just helping her right here think about, okay, here's how we figure out life. So she goes, oh, well, I'll just go around it here. And so all these experiences are just really helpful for the young horse. I'm leading the mare here, and I'm not on camera, but and it's just a helpful way for the baby to learn to follow along. Here she thought about taking off, and she's like, oh, yeah, I do have a halter on. Maybe I should listen to that. So we were being very forgiving of her at this point in her training because she's young. She really knows absolutely nothing. So she's having to learn what a halter is, what it feels like, what the pressure on it means, and to give to pressure instead of running away from it and all those sorts of things. So a couple other questions you might be asking is, what is she eating? Well, mostly at this age, she's drinking her mama's milk. Here we're getting her to trot a little bit while we're leading her. It's really good practice. And she eats a little bit of hay here and there, but for the most part, she's just, drinking milk, eating a little bit of hay at this point. So here you're going to see Sarah get ready to turn her loose. She's going to intentionally work with her here, turn her around a little bit, make her back up a little bit, and then she's going to want the horse to stay with her when she takes the halter off and not just run away from her. That kind of sets up a bad behavior pattern if the horses learn to just run away from you. And so really we're focused on good behavior at this point. We're forgiving if she doesn't have it, but we also really do expect that she learn to have good behavior. And you'll see here in a minute I'm going to be petting her and kind of getting a better look at her, and she after a little while thinks maybe she should come bite me in the camera, and I kind of have to push her away. But it's just kind of a give and take, and teaching her to be a nice horse, just act like a good, sane citizen of the horse world. Here's Mama horse. She's pretty chill, getting her halter taken off. Now I'm going to pet her here, just give you a little bit of a look at her close up here. And pretty cute the way she does all her little baby moves here. And so basically I want to hear from you what other questions you have in the comments about the horse. I've tried to answer some of what I think are going to be the most common questions. As far as weaning, that's going to get started probably 6 to 10 months of age. We haven't decided exactly yet. But anyway, leave me comments down there what other questions you have. I'll try to answer those either in the comments or in a future video. And she's just been a whole lot of fun for our family to get to know, to play around with, to learn and have fun with. And hope you enjoyed watching as much as we've enjoyed showing you our baby horse.